Howdy folks, TJ, little old me in my home office with my living in a bubble seat back storage device. I like to call it a duffel bag, even though it's not a duffel bag, but it is a big stuff bag that mounts to your seat back, whether it's a van, a 4x4 truck, heck, it even can be a little Volkswagen Beetle. I don't care, as long as you've got a seat that this can strap onto, it's gonna help you keep your life organized. Now, I've been watching a number of videos from folks that own this particular bag and storage device, and what they do is a number of van lifers use it as a way to stuff their dirty laundry, and don't we all have a little dirty laundry? But they stuff it in there, and then when they get to their city of choice, they easily disconnect this from their seat back and go to the laundromat, get their stuff cleaned, and then safely take it back to their van. Very cool idea. Everybody's use, though, will be different, and I think I'm going to probably be the first one to use this particular storage device in a fun way for my fly fishing excursions. I either go out on a day trip, or I'll go out camping for a week and a half, and I want to keep my fly fishing gear organized. By the way, I don't only just fish regular fly fishing, I do Tenkara fly fishing. If you've never heard of that word, type in Tenkara USA. And they sell Tenkara fly rods. These rods are telescopic, they come back very small, and you can fly fish with them. They're no reel, it's a fixed line method of fishing, which is quite fun. And I've been doing it for the last 15 years. My methodology, though, is I want to be able to stuff everything in here, at home, clean, go out, stick it in my van. I actually do have a Class B RV called a Pleasure Way Tofino, and go off on my trip and be able to utilize this pack and have everything accessible on my passenger seat. So we're gonna today I'm gonna show you what I normally take. I'm gonna stuff it all in here in a somewhat organized fashion. Then we'll go out to my van, connect this up to the seat, and once it's up on the seat, take an imaginary trip to my fly fishing destination where I have fell into the water and I'm all wet, and I come back to my van, and what do I do next? I'll show you when we get out there, but for now, let's change the camera a little bit. We're gonna get on the floor. Yeah, I like sitting on the floor when I'm packing stuff. Sitting in a seat and trying to bend over, might lose my equilibrium and kind of fall over the top, so we're gonna sit down on the floor. I'm gonna show you everything that I take, and we're gonna stuff it in here. And I'll also try to show you a semi-close-up of inside this storage device, because what's cool, the bottom of it has a nice area that's got a waterproof, breathable, I'm not sure if it's breathable, but it's waterproof, where you can put your wet stuff down below after you fall in the water and try to separate it a little bit from your other stuff that you don't necessarily want wet. So when you get home, you have everything organized and you can take it out and get it cleaned. So let me get on the floor. So I've got this pack, and it is about yay long. You can kind of see it. I can kind of somewhat hide behind it, even though I'm a little girthy, but we'll put the pack over here. And what am I taking? So I normally carry a tube, or I should say a little carry pack that's got about 6 or 7 Tenkara rods. Why do I take that many? Because often people will come up at the stream and say, what is it that you're fishing with? I've never seen a fly rod like that. And then I'll take one out of my pack and say, here, try one out and let's fish together for a little while. I'm a friendly bloke, and we'll fish, and they'll go, hey, this is pretty dang fun. So I normally take some extras just in case I either A, fall in the river and break something, or B, I find somebody that would like to Tenkara fly fish for a little while, and I've got all of these rods. So in this case, I've got a wading staff, because yes, I do fall in the river. That's why I bring a wading staff. And these tubes are fly rods that are telescopic, that close down. And I've got about 5 or 6 of them in here. So we're gonna fit all of this in here. Now the lid may not close properly, but what's cool about this, it's got a mechanism on top that kind of snaps it shut. So technically I can just lean a few out of the pack. And I don't know if this is gonna pick up. Sometimes getting things to pick up, but in this pack, you'll see that it's got this plastic material. It's actually from the top all the way down. And I probably was out of camera there. This material is gonna help you keep the wetties away from the dryies, at least a little bit. So that's cool. What else do I have? I normally take a day pack with me, and which I'll still take with me, but normally I stuff a whole bunch of stuff in here, and then when I get to the place, I gotta take everything out. What do I wanna actually hike in with? So not all of this stuff goes with me when I fly fish, but I need to have it in the vehicle. So I'm gonna try to stuff it in there. What's it consist of? Well, it consists of this landing net, and inside of the landing net, this is a Tomo. That's what, Tomo is basically a net. And this Tomo goes with me, and inside I've got this little pack that has all of my tippet and flies and such in there. I've got a, what do you call these, boofs? The little boof that you stick over your face so you don't get sunburned all over the place. I carry myself a proper water bottle. This one's cool, it's got a filter built into it, so I can actually just fill it up at the river and pop this open and start drinking. I don't have to use any other straws or anything like that. The mechanism is built right into it. Let me see if I can take this out. It is rather cool. So that's actually a filter. So I can just, and nothing better than river cold water, other than when you fall, then it sucks a little bit, but I've got one of those. So lately I just normally stick all of that inside of my net to kind of keep it somewhat organized. Like so. So I normally take that. What else do I have in here? I've got bear spray. Yeah, I do hike where there's bears, and I don't want to be a morsel of chubbiness that they want to eat as a burrito. So I take this most places, not all, but many places. So I carry this with me. I've got this little piece of material which can work great dipping it in water and using it as a way to cool yourself down. I get overheated really easy, especially as you get older. So I take one of these with me. This is a little pack that I could put a second Tenkara rod in, so when I backpack in, I'll have one Tenkara fly rod and that I'm carrying, and then one extra in case I want something shorter or something like that. So that's another thing. I carry a nice knife. My buddy Trevor made this up for me. It's a homemade knife. So I've got a knife that I take with me in case I need to. I won't say what I'm going to do with it, but it's a knife. I do have a little bear bell. Sometimes just walking around with something that clanks and clinks is enough to say, bear, don't come on over and eat TJ. They'll hear the noise and maybe move on to other greener pastures, like that other fly fisher that I don't mind getting. He can eat him, but just don't eat me. No, I don't want anybody to get eaten, but you get the drift, right? Okay, so that's, and then I've got just some extra doodads in here. I don't need to show you all those doodads, but anything else in this front area? Yeah, extra lines and things. I'm not going to show all that stuff. But needless to say, I do carry some sunscreen and things of that nature, which I'll keep in this day pack because I still am going to be using this. I'm going to mount it on me and walk off to new destination. So what else do I have? The bigger things start getting bigger. I've got wading boots. Not just one. I have more than 1 foot, but I put them each in their own baggie because when you go out in the sand and dirt all day, you don't want to put these wet, dirty boots in your vehicle. So when I get back, I put them in these little plastic bags, and I've got 2 of them. So I need to find a way to hopefully slip these inside of that duffel. If I can't quite fit them in there, we'll figure out something. The neat thing about this pouch is there's a front mesh material, and I'm thinking I could even stick them in the front. I don't have to necessarily stick them inside the pack. Okay, so 2 boots. I've got my other wading. I do a lot of wet wading. Wet wading means I don't put on the full waders. I get wet, and I need to have some wading neoprene socks. And these are Japanese-style shin guards. These wrap around your knees and lower shins, because nothing hurts more than racking your shins on a rock. Oh, that hurts so much. So I wear these. It's a little neoprene. It's a little extra way to protect my legs. And then I bring a change of clothes. Change of clothes is smart because, again, I fall in the river. So that change of clothes can be your basic t-shirt. Oh, I don't know if I should be showing these. Well, let's show the socks. I've got socks. And then I've got some wading type of pants or pants. I guess, hey, this is an adult channel, but are you allowed to show undershrooms? But notice what's on my undershroom. Volkswagen buses. Does it show the buses? Yeah, it shows. There's Volkswagen buses on my pantalones, undershrooms. So yeah, bring a pair. Didn't Mama ever tell you to bring a pair of extra underwear? So I bring all this stuff with me. So let's start packing. So I'm wondering, should I stick the boots? Let me shift the Schusters over here. I think I'm gonna take my clothes. Everything is dry inside of this pack right now. I'm gonna slip my change of clothes in here and give it a little bit of a squish, and we're gonna stick them in way at the bottom, because ultimately I'm gonna be reaching down into the gullet here later and find my change of clothes. So that's cool, got that in there. Oh, there's magnets on here, so that just grabbed my microphone. Hopefully it's still working. Hello. Neoprene socks. I can actually stick these inside one at a time. If you're smart, roll them up like so, and then stick them inside of your boot. They're small enough to stick inside there. So that's one, and then let's do that for number 2. And we're gonna stick them in here. That way it takes up a little less real estate inside of my day pack, which is a living in a bubble backseat storage device. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna roll my big old shin guards, we'll call them, and we're gonna stick that down in the bottom. Now I'm not gonna try to take the camera off and show you into here, but needless to say, you see that I'm stuffing stuff in here, so I'm doing pretty good. You know what? I might be able to fit a lot of this stuff in here. Oh, I forgot to say, I need to bring a towel in case I need to dry off. For surely I'll be drying off. So I need to stick that in there. And then I bring a little face one, because what normally you're drying off if you don't fall in the water is your feet and your shins. You kind of dry off down there and then put on your normal shoes. So I'm actually gonna roll this up and stick it inside here. This is going very well. I'm sticking all sorts of stuff. Now I need to have room for my rods though. So I need to shift the Schusters over. Let me push down. And we're gonna stick some fly rods in. I need to get to that next. So let me go ahead and pull these down. We're gonna take out some fly rods here. And we're gonna stick some look at how many stuff, like I said, I bring a whole bunch with me so I can be prepared. So let's go ahead and start sticking these rods inside the case. I should put them with the name in the right direction. So I need to shift these down, shift the Schusters, I like saying, and stick a whole bunch of fly rods in here. And I don't need to put all these in here right now, but you're getting the gist of what I'm doing here. This is a real old one. It's a green older case. See, I could, like I said, I could kind of have them come out on the side, and everything kind of somewhat snaps tight enough to where I can keep it kosher. But I do want to bring my wading staff. Let's stick the wading staff in there as well. This is good. And I could, if I was paying more attention, probably could get it even tighter. But this is just for an experiment here. I don't need this one as well. So what's next? We're going to... Oh boy, I got all sorts of stuff in here. Will this fit in there? No, I don't think so. I'm gonna take this stuff out, and we're gonna stuff it in here. A bear spray. I want that quickly accessible. I don't wanna have to dig. Don't put your bear spray at the bottom of the bag. You want it accessible to where if a bear is coming for you, you have quicker access to it. So I'm gonna stick that in there. And I'm gonna stick, oh geez. I've got to disconnect my net here. I've got it tethered to this, so I want to disconnect my net. Now, technically, I don't have to stick every single thing in here, but we're just having a little bit of fun today. A lot of fun, actually. Sticking stuff. And then my water bottle. And my booth. And we'll put this stuff... I'm thinking I could probably do this. Just like so. Yeah, that's going to work. And it's even got a little Velcro in there. So That's going to be cool. Now, I think what I'm going to do for this experiment, I'm not going to put the boots in here. I think I'm going to go like, probably like this. Let's turn it this direction so it, see how it keeps everything nice and uniform? That is an awesome pack. And then keep my boots separately. I don't need to put my boots inside here. That's just silly. But we'll put them in the vehicle. And when I take off my said shoes, I can then switch to that. So I've now successfully put everything in here. Let's go out to my Tofino, which is conveniently named Bigfoot. And we'll mount this up and see what it looks like there. And then we'll further discuss the living in a bubble, one of their storage solutions that go on the back of your seats. Hold tight.